In summary, you can draw a cos graph from a table, in which case you're plotting each of these degrees for x, and then you're getting out whatever you need for y. But I'm recommending that you rather recognize that the cos shape is a little cup, and that you always find the cups to draw in on both the right hand side and the left hand side. The cos graph is symmetrical about the y-axis. It's got a cup on the left, it's got a cup on the right. When you change the amplitude, all that you're doing is changing the stretch. So instead of going up to 1 on the cos graph, on the 3 cos graph it goes up to 3 and down to -3, and on the 1/3 cos graph it only goes up to 1/3 and down to -1/3. A reminder that that amplitude is the A value in your formula, and the vertical shift going up and down is the Q value. The period of a cos graph, for now, is always 360 degrees because it takes exactly 360 degrees to fit in one whole cup. When we make the vertical shifts, the cos graph is the green one here, and when we add 3 to it to get the brown graph, all that's happened is we've taken each critical point and we've taken it up by 3 points on the y-axis, so that it's basically the entire of that graph just shifted all the way up by 3 points on the y-axis. I'm recommending that you draw in the shadow graph of the original and then you do your shifts from there instead of just plugging it into a calculator. When we have a negative cos graph, the whole thing gets flipped about the x-axis. So all of your points that once were positive are now negative, but 0 stays the same. So you can see that these together form quite a pretty pattern, as you have reflected the green one in the orange one. So it's now an upside down cup and another upside down cup. When we have a combination, for example, of it being negative and the amplitude is bigger than 1, then first make it negative. So first draw in the shadow graph that we've already got the orange one, then change the amplitude. So for the dark blue graph is just like the orange one, excepting it's now been shifted so that the zeros are the same, but the amplitude has changed. So now instead of going down to -1, it goes down to -3. So all the ones become 3s basically, and the whole thing stretches much, much taller. If we then take that graph and subtract 1, it's basically the dark blue graph, but every single point has been shifted down by 1 to get to the light blue graph. So if you were given this as something to draw, what I would first put in is quick little shadows of the green one, and then the orange one, and then the dark blue one, and then finally putting in this one and then erasing all the other ones.